everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlene, and originally this video was going to be my next one and done video. I have done a series of videos where I talk with you guys about authors in different genres where I've read one of their books, but then never went back and read any more of them. It could have been because I didn't enjoy the book. It could have been because I just never got around to it. Their other books didn't interest me, whatever the reason might be, but I just never went back and picked up any more of their books. So this video was supposed to be the next video in that series, which would have been mysteries and thrillers. However, there are a few different reasons why I'm not making that video. Number one is because I really didn't feel like I had that many authors that other people might actually recommend I read more of their books. Honestly, I was down to limiting it to 5 authors because most of the authors I came up with are not very well known. And so it doesn't seem like they're going to be authors that most people have heard of. And again, even then, they didn't feel like authors that most people would probably recommend, yes, try another one of their books. The second reason is because honestly, I'm feeling like I don't have a whole lot of time for mood reading this year. I have 4 books a month that I have to get to, and normally I only read about 5 or 6 books a month to begin with. And so adding in one of these one and done books is just not leaving me a whole lot of time to either mood read or work on books that I'm wanting to get to this year to work towards my goals and things like that. So it's just getting to a point where I'm feeling like I'm losing control of my TBR, and every month it's becoming, I have to read these certain books and that's all I get to read. So I'm wanting to make some more room for mood reading. The third reason is because honestly, the videos don't really seem to be ones that you guys overly enjoy. When I did the first one, which was for classics, I got tons of comments, tons of votes, and it seemed like something you guys enjoyed. So I decided to do more of them. Also because technically I messed up because sci-fi fantasy is the first one I should have filmed, and I figured if I was going to do a second one, I might as well just keep it going. But since the classics video, there's not that many votes. And most of the time the book that wins, or the author that wins, is one that only got 2 or 3 votes. So it doesn't seem like it's a series that you guys are overly interested in, and I don't want to be posting videos that you guys aren't interested in. So I have some other ideas of similar videos I could do in the future if you guys like the general concept, just not either breaking it down by genre or not specifically the one and done. I could do popular books I haven't read yet. I could do books by genre that I haven't read yet, or authors I haven't read. I could do authors I read a long time ago, maybe read 2 or 3 books, but then never came back to them. I could do different things like that if you guys are interested. So if you are, you can let me know down in the comments. But if it's something you guys aren't interested in, then I'm not going to worry about posting them because I don't want to waste your time. So instead for today, I am going to go over all of the books that I have saved in my Hoopla and Libby apps. I did a bookshelf tour when I started this channel showing you guys all of the books on my physical TBR, but I have a lot of books that I have saved in both my Hoopla and Libby apps through my library that you guys never hear about unless I actually pick them up and read them. So I thought I would go over those books just so you can see a bit more of my TBR. And I will be honest, I actually filmed this video back in the fall. But around the time that I filmed it, I think I was coming off the tail end of what I'm going to call the summer blues. Normally I get the winter blues or deal with seasonal depression in the winter. I had it in the summer this year instead, or last year, for some reason. So I was coming off of the tail end of that, and I was in a major decluttering mood. So after I filmed the video, I realized I'm not sure I want to read a lot of these books anymore. And so I went through and I dumped a bunch of books off of both apps. Libby wasn't as bad because I'm pretty sure I had less than 100 books saved in my Libby app, and I dropped, I think, about a third of them. But Hoopla, I dropped nearly half, or a little over half, I'm not sure which. And it was well over 100 books that I took off of the list. Forget how many were on the list to begin with. So I decided to scrap that video because since I dumped a bunch of the books, it didn't seem to make sense to talk to you guys about them if they weren't on my TBR anymore. So we're going to do it again today. And hopefully I don't make any major changes between now and when the video comes out. So I'm going to start with the Libby app because I have the fewest books on there, but it's also the app where I can actually divide the books into categories. So that makes it easier to go over them. So I'm going to start with the nonfiction, and those are Treasury of Norse Mythology by Donna Jo Napoli, Ancient Egypt by George Wallinson, The Religion of Ancient Egypt by Sir W. M. Flinders Petrie, The Story of Egypt by Joanne Fletcher, The Dark Queens by Shelley Puhawk. I know I'm probably going to get one of these names wrong, but There's No Such Thing as Bad Weather by Linda Akison McGurk. It has the little circle over the A. I don't know how that's pronounced. I'm pretty sure it's a Swedish name, but I'm not sure. So if I mispronounce that, I'm sorry. 5 Days in November by Clint Hill. The Witness Wore Red by Rebecca Musser. I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist by Norman L. Geisler and Frank Turek. Gay Girl Good God by Jackie Hill Perry. Galileo's Daughter by Dava Sobel. And I had The Girl with 7 Names by Hyeonseo Lee. I probably majorly butchered that, but I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce Korean names. But apparently my library has taken it off of the app, so I'll need to see if I can find it somewhere else. Alright, then we'll hop over to the fiction books, and we have Soul's Gate by James L. Rubart, Sun by Lois Lowry, which is the 4th book in the Giver Quartet, Ivanhoe by Sir Walter Scott, How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin, The Storyteller's Daughter by Victoria McCombs, French Medieval Romances from The Lay of Marie de France, The Mysterious Case of the Alberton Angels by Janice Hallett, Shards of the Earth by Adrian Tchaikovsky, He Fell in Love with His Wife by Edward Payson Rowe, The Last Quintista by Donna Barba Higuera, Service Model by Adrian Tchaikovsky, Land of Silence and Thief of Corinth by Tessa Afshar, Parvana's Journey and Mud City by Deborah Ellis, which are books 2 and 3 in the Breadwinner series, Daughter of Rome by Tessa Afshar, The Complete Hercule Poirot Short Stories by Agatha Christie, The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence, The Dragon's Path by Daniel Abraham, The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams, Catherine of Aragon, The True Queen by Alison Weir, Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, A Most Agreeable Murder by Julia Seals, A Curious Beginning by Deanna Rayborn, Only Human by Sylvain Novelle, which is the 3rd and final book in the Themis Files series. As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows by Zulfa Katu. The Lady Elizabeth by Alison Weir. A Shadow in Summer by Daniel Abraham. Network Effect, Fugitive Telemetry, and System Collapse by Martha Wells, which are books 5, 6, and 7 in the Murderbot Diaries series. As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meisner. The Twyford Code by Janice Hallett. Dragon Teeth by Michael Crichton. Wolf by Ryan Groudon, Under the Magnolias by T.I. Lowe, The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society by Annie Barrows and Marianne Schaefer, and Finnegan of the Rock by Melinda Marchetta. And then just the last few that I have in Libby are Christmas books, and they are Christmas at Harrington's by Melody Carlson, The Holiday Mix-Up by Jenny Baird, Christmas Bells by Jennifer Chiavarini, and A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. This is the audiobook narrated by Jim Dale. And then from there we will move on to my Hoopla app. And Hoopla divides it up by audiobooks and eBooks, also comics and graphic novels. So it's not divided up by genre. I did try to sort my eBooks by genre, or at least by nonfiction versus fiction, but it's still not 100% organized that way. So I will go over them as they are sorted that way, but as I get towards the end, they're going to be less sorted. So for the audiobooks, there aren't a lot, so I can divide these up easily by fiction versus nonfiction. So starting with the nonfiction, we have Shattered Dreams by Irene Spencer, The History of the Medieval World by Susan Wise Bauer, Germania by Simon Winder, And apparently that is all of them. So then for fiction, we have A Place to Hang the Moon by Kate Albus. And then once again, we have Network Effect, Fugitive Telemetry, and System Collapse by Martha Wells, books 5, 6, and 7 in the Murderbot Diary series. The Paris Hours by Alex George, The Hidden Prince and Daughter of Rome by Tessa Afshar, and that seems to be all of them. Then for comics and graphic novels, I only have one, and that is The Holy Ghost by John Hendricks. There are some other books of his that I want to get to, but I guess I don't have them saved in Hoopla yet. Then moving on to ebooks, I have nonfiction listed first and then the fiction books, but again, as I get towards the end, because they are books I have added since, you're going to get a blend of both fiction and nonfiction. So to start with, I have a slew of nonfiction books saved that are part of I can't remember the name of the series now, but they are part of a series of books where you get multiple views on different things to do with Christianity. So I'll list a few just to give you an idea. I'm not going to list every single one of them, but we have 3 views on the millennium and beyond, 3 views on Christianity and science, 4 views on hell, 5 views on the church and politics, and so on. And all of these books are a series of essays written by people who hold one of these 3 or 4 views. And each person writes an essay explaining their view. And then the other people who are contributing get to write rebuttals to that. They can comment on what they agree with, what they don't agree with. And then the original author of the essay gets a chance to respond to their rebuttals. And then we go to the next point of view and it starts all over again. And I've read, I think, 3 books in this series so far. And I really enjoy it because it's a good way to get an idea of what each viewpoint under a specific topic believes. And then you can always delve in more later if you want to know more about a specific topic. Then moving on from those, we have Live Your Truth and Other Lies and Another Gospel by Elisa Childers, The Names of God by Anne Spangler, Managing God's Money by Randy Alcorn, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus by Nabil Qureshi, Return of the God Hypothesis by Stephen C. Meyer, The Power of the Holy Spirit's Names by Tony Evans, The Daniel Dilemma by Chris Hodges, Hidden Treasures in the Book of Job by Hugh Ross, Becoming Free Indeed by Ginger Duggar Vuolo, King Arthur's Wars by Jim Storr, Edward III, The Perfect King by Ian Mortimer, The Anglo-Saxons by Mark Morris, Sovietistan by Erica Fatland, The King's Shadow by Edmund Richardson, The Louvre by James Gardner, and I doubt it's that James Gardner. Actually, I think that's Garner, so never mind. Unspeakable by Jessica Willis Fisher, What If Love Is the Point by Carlos and Alexa Penavega, Cult Insanity by Irene Spencer, Beyond Belief by Jenna Miscavige Hill. I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that middle name. Shooting Stars by John Hendricks. And then the rest of the nonfiction will be up at the top. So at this point, we're going to move on to fiction, and we have The Memory House by Rachel Hawke, Thief of Corinth by Tessa Afshar, The Letter from Briarton Park by Sarah E. Ladd, The Last Quintista by Donna Barba Higuera, Sing Me Forgotten by Jessica S. Olson, Murder at the Mena House by Erica Ruth Neubauer, if you take a more English approach, Mark of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey, Mind Games by Nancy Mell, Recorder by Kathy McCrum, The Librarian of Crooked Lane by C.J. Archer, Under the Tulip Tree by Michelle Shockley, The Wintringham Mystery by Anthony Berkeley, Nova by Chuck Black, A Soul as Cold as Frost by Jennifer Kropf, Oath of the Brotherhood by Carla Loreno, Torn by Rowena Miller, The Ice One by Janelle Chazilski, The Metropolitan Affair by Jocelyn Green, Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes, Stormland by John Shirley, Poison Study by Maria V. Snyder, The School of Mirrors by Eva Stachniak, Volume 1 of the Palisade novels, which is, I figure out which way to turn the phone to read them, Can You Forgive Her, Phineas Finn, and The Eustace Diamonds by Anthony Trollope, The Lost Lieutenant by Erica Vetch, Masquerade at Middlecrest Abbey and The Vanishing at Loxby Manor by Abigail Wilson, Cold Pursuit by Nancy Mell, Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Groudon, The Complete Hercule Poirot Short Stories, The Complete Miss Marple Short Stories, and Death Comes as the End by Agatha Christie, Authentically Izzy, Positively Penelope, and Loyally Luke by Pepper Basham, Parvana's Journey, Mud City, My Name is Parvana, and One More Mountain by Deborah Ellis, which are books 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the Breadwinner series. The Eternity Gate by Catherine Briggs. Relative Silence by Carrie Stewart Parks. The Thief Knot by Kate Milford, which is part of the Green Glass House series. I don't know where it falls. It takes place outside of Green Glass House and goes to Green Glass House, and that's all I know. But it's set in the same world. Calor by J.J. Fisher. Psyche and Eros by Luna McNamara. Thief and Rebel by Linda Windsor, which are books 2 and 3 in the Brides of Alba series. The Prophet's Wife by Libby Grant. A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. The Mistwick School of Musicraft and the Midnight Orchestra by Jessica Corey. The Divine Proverb of Streusel by Sarah Brunsvold. The Chaos Grid by Lindsay Llewellyn. Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Vivid, Radiant, and Chromatic by Ashley Bustamante. The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Nobel. Wolf Soldier by James R. Hannibal. The Man He Never Was by James L. Rubart. And then from there we get into some Christmas books. So we have The Holiday Mix-Up by Jenny Baird. The Christmas Dress by Courtney Cole. Christmas at Harrington's by Melody Carlson. Miss Marley by Vanessa LaFay. The Wish Book Christmas by Lynn Austen. Last Christmas in Paris by Hazel Gaynor and Heather Webb. And The Christmas Tree Inn by J.L. Jarvis. And then I just have 2 more nonfiction books, and those are Egyptian Myths and Legends by Wallace Budge and Treasury of Egyptian Mythology by Donna Jo Napoli. So those are all of the books that I have on my Hoopla and Libby apps. There's a lot of them. And this is part of the reason why I'm wanting to have a little bit more of a chance to mood read every month, because I would just like to get to some more of these books. So if there's any books on here that you think I should prioritize, you can let me know down in the comments below. And if you've read any of the books that I mentioned, feel free to let me know what you thought about them. And other than that, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.